Let's go.
Okay, everybody. I've been waiting to do this podcast for a while. I'm super excited to do this one. And this is season 2, episode 6 of my Game Changer podcast. And I always just get straight into it. So, obviously, thanks to everybody for watching up until now. And I'm going to hand over to the guest, and he can introduce himself, tell everybody what he's doing, and then what's your why. So, over to you, mate. The floor is yours.
Fun. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, brother. This was a long-awaited, meeting. After meeting on Instagram and chatting back and forth and trying to get this, kind of get the ball rolling. It's been a while, but yeah, I'm super excited. And I'm Coach Mike, and I'm a goalkeeper coach for Hout Bay United FC. We are playing in the third division in South Africa, ABC League, and our goal is to get to the first division of the PSL. And we've kind of put in structures in place that's going to hopefully get us there in the next 6 years. And my why, listen, I mean, we spoke about it earlier, but just being passionate about the game, and that's kind of all. That's what drives me every day. That's what wakes me up in the morning, and it's an exciting type of environment to be in. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. And then, actually, going back to what we were speaking about earlier on our passion, was was there something, or was there someone, like, was there even a player growing up that you were like, maybe you saw them on TV or whatever it was, or at a World Cup, but was there a player or someone who just got you like, I'm obsessed with football now because of, or it might have even been a coach.
Mm. So, what actually kind of sparked my interest in coaching or in football really was, so I grew up in the time of when Manchester United were winning trophies left, right, and center. And the person I watched most was Wayne Rooney. I still think he's the greatest British footballer to ever grace the Premier League, to be very
Yeah.
honest. And then obviously during that time they had Eden van der Sar. I obviously started watching, and he was a massive influence of mine. But going to football and kind of attending the local football club. I had a coach as soon as I got there, from the age of 11 all the way up until 20 or 2 years ago, 23. I still talk to him to this day, Coach Dylan. He was a massive driving force for me to go into football firstly, and then obviously later on to go into coaching. So he's been massive, massive, massive. I mean, he taught me a lot of stuff. He gave me that love and that passion to pursue football beyond just playing. And I still chat to him every day. And he's a nice guy. And that was a lot of a massive, massive driving force for me to go into coaching, to be honest.
Nice. And actually, just to give people a bit of context, have you always been like growing up playing, like when you started playing with your local club, have you always been a goalkeeper, or where did the goalkeeping coach come out of? Because
So,
usually it's like that's how it works. You're a goalkeeper, you become
yeah.
a goalkeeping coach. But you're probably gonna tell me like you're the top scorer in your league and you just got bored and
Oh,
like
it's actually the complete opposite. Finn, I'm
yeah,
not lying to you when I say this. I started when I my very first game at amateur level, when I obviously joined the local footballing team. I played as a striker. I played
yeah,
in the so it's under 11. Under 11, I played for the D team, which is the fourth team.
yeah.
Terrible, terrible. I was a chubby kid. I was terrible. I was slow. You name it. But for some reason, I told the coach that I'm a striker. Obviously, I think because I was thinking of being Wayne Rooney, and so I was trying to be like him. And I played one game. The first game we played away, and I was up front, and I was running around like a headless chicken. And I said, "Listen, this is the first and last time I'm running this much." And a year later, I kind of came to the conclusion that I'm going to stay in goals because it's the least amount of running. But so I started out as a goalkeeper. I'm sorry, as a striker, and then I was moved to centre back because I was extremely slow. Moved to centre back, and then I kind of took the initiative, and because I played football in the park as well, and I always kind of used to be in goal because I was the best at the park. So I said, okay, let's give it a go at club level. And yeah, I've never looked back.
Nice, nice. No, I mean that is a change going from one
Yeah,
end of the
no,
pitch
100%.
to the next.
No, exactly.
But yeah, no, here we actually we were speaking about this earlier on, but how me and you actually got talking was probably one of the most random things ever,
Yeah,
and it actually just goes to show the power nowadays of like social media and creating content. So I'll let you
100%.
set the stage of how it all
Yeah.
began.
So I don't know how exactly we came to kind of following each other on social media, but I know for a fact it was one day I was just came back from coaching, and I opened up the Instagram app. First thing that popped up, oh, your Instagram page started alive. So I said, okay, sick. Someone talking about football. Let's have a look. So then I went into it, and you had your tactics board up, and you're talking about different kind of styles of build-up play and so on and so forth. And I spoke about kind of involving the keeper a little bit more, because obviously that's kind of where the modern day game is going. I
Yeah.
mean, you see so many players now, especially in the Premier League, playing off on the back with their feet. I mean, David Raya is a massive and one of the best examples in the Prem to do it. Well, obviously now that Edison's left, but yeah, kind of playing him in a little bit more forward role and having the centre backs completely split. So you're able to have like an extra man in that last line going forward, whether you want to overload the left, right, or the front line. But yeah, that was kind of the idea I wanted to get across. And yeah, ever since then he messaged me straight after, and I was like, I didn't even know this guy was gonna like kind of think of me after the live, but that's so sick. And then I was like, nah, this Finn's a lekker guy. So yeah, then we've connected ever since, and I'm so glad that we are now kind of chatting like fully.
Yeah. Right, and just to give people a bit of context, right? So I am based in Ireland, and
Yeah,
Mike is based in South Africa. So
yeah.
yeah, like we said, we still can't remember how we followed each other, but I literally went on Instagram and posted a live, and it ended up down in South Africa somewhere. So
Yeah.
it's it's just
It's
crazy to
it
think.
is a powerful place. It's a powerful place, man.
Right, so obviously speaking about your coaching, you said you're with I'm probably going to butcher the name, but was it Hout Bay United? Hout Bay
Yes,
United?
yes. Come on, Finn. Come on. Spot on.
But yeah, like what for you, right? Obviously, you have to be selfish with this question, but like, what are your what are your big life goals? And I mean, it might not be with the club that you're with now, but like, okay, I'll give you. There's going to be two parts. So in football,
Yeah.
what are your big what do you want to get to achieve? And then just in life in general, what's a massive goal that you want to achieve?
So I say this to my girlfriend every time, because I just have to keep reminding her why I'm doing so much work, and I'm so grateful to have her in my life, because she's so supportive, and she knows that, okay, I need to dedicate this amount of time to football, because obviously long-term goals. But my biggest goal, I would love to be coaching as a goalkeeper coach in Spain. I think in terms of being a South African, and having the different the diversity. I mean, the weather's great, people are amazing. I think the similarities in my environment here in South Africa would the closest I would get to that in Europe would be probably Spain or Portugal or something like that. I don't speak any Spanish, if that was your next question. But I mean, we could learn. How long did it take Trent to learn?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 6 months and he's fluent.
No, exactly. So I might just get that Duolingo going. But yeah, so my goals are my end goal is to end up in Spain. My medium term goal is to hopefully go to Joburg in the next 3 or 4 years, because that's where all the majority of the first division clubs here in SA are residing. I mean, your Pirates, your Sundowns, Chiefs. I mean, so many massive clubs on that side. I mean, the big three are in Joburg. So yeah, and that's my medium term goal. I mean, our goal as a club is to get into the PSL in the next 5 years, and that's my focus for now. If I do get picked up by someone like a Sundowns or Pirates or Chiefs, I mean, I would be silly not to take it. I mean, I love this club, but also I don't think any coach would really turn down an offer from one of the big three in SA.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's from Cape Town, Joburg, Spain. That's kind of the pathway I've now envisioned.
You have it all set. And then I actually just want to touch. I mean, I would have only been 12, maybe 12 or 13. Show my age, man. Not that I'm not old, but I would have been 12. I would have been 12 or 13 when the World Cup was in South
Oh, that's
Africa.
it.
And I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure I think you would have been young enough as well. But I mean, as as a nation hosting such a because obviously there's at the time I know now this new World Cup it's expanded, but right, there's 30 taking South Africa out of it. There's 31 different countries coming to South
Yeah.
Africa. Like, what sort of impact? I mean, if you can think about it, did hosting like probably the biggest tournament in the world, like
Yo.
obviously in international football, have like is there still some sort of the legacy going on now?
I think, or firstly, from a South African point of view, we all have the same opinion. And it's when the World Cup was in South Africa, it was the best World Cup.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
there's so many different things going on, and I think that's such a nice representation of who we are as a country. We've got so many people from. I mean, we've got 12 different languages, so that already shows you how many different walks of life there are, kind of living in the same area. But luckily, I was young enough to kind of remember the World Cup was such a massive event. I mean, and that was around at the same time I really got into football. I think I was 10 at the time, yeah. But I mean, I can remember going on fan walks, the Germany versus Argentina game at the DHL Stadium now, at the Cape Town Stadium. I mean, the vibe was immaculate. People really, they are super passionate. Fun.
yeah,
South Africans are extremely passionate about football. I don't understand. It's
yeah,
insane. I mean, if you talk, okay, a lot of the demographic in South Africa are PSL watchers. I mean, obviously PSL, Champions League, Premier League, those type of leagues, also La Liga at times. But the impact that hosting the World Cup had was it sparked a lot of like, people that weren't necessarily watchers of football into watching, and it really brought together the entire nation. Really, I mean, wow. It's just thinking back on it now makes me so happy because nothing went wrong during the World Cup. I mean,
yeah.
I was in grade 4 and we had a whole month, almost just over a month of holidays straight. We just didn't go to school. And I was insane. It was time of my life. I was outside in the park playing football with my mates. And wow, it was really just vibes. And then that Shabalala goal,
Oh yeah.
I was lucky enough to watch that live because between playing in the park and watching the game, I mean, yeah, I couldn't necessarily make a pick which one was more important because I couldn't necessarily understand like the how monumental this moment is. So I was lucky enough to watch the Chabalala goal, and yeah, I got chills. Even watching it back, if I watch it back now, I still get chills, and it's proper, bringing a whole nation together because of because of someone kicked the ball.
Yeah.
To put it simply, it really is something magical to witness and to kind of be a part of.
Well, amazing. And for those of you who may not know, obviously, if you know me, you know I'm a very positive and amazing guy. And we were only speaking about this earlier on, but Ireland have basically two playoff finals to get to the World Cup, and the group that we're picked to be in is the same group as South Africa. So earlier on,
Yes.
we were manifesting. I mean, you were telling me to manifest this, which obviously I absolutely love doing, and yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Hopefully, in
No,
this,
definitely.
well, not hopefully, no, we will. We're going to be
Yes,
playing
there
each
you
other.
go.
I can't remember the exact date. I think it's maybe the first or second. I actually think it's the first or second game or whatever it is, but
Mm.
the start of June. Um, I don't know who's at home, but anyway, it's going to be Ireland against South Africa. It's going to be an absolutely amazing game.
I'm super excited to watch that. Because I mean, Bafana have been doing really well. I mean, up until our most recent loss, crashing out of the AFCON. I mean, before that, the previous AFCON we came third.
Yeah,
So it shows. I mean, Hugo Bruce is doing. I mean, an amazing job with Bafana, and because previously, even during the World Cup, there was so many like off the field issues that had to be dealt with from managers. We were chopping and changing managers in and out, and I think he's come in, he's settled the ship, he's got a really good game plan, and the players are buying into it. So yeah, I mean, also in Ireland now as well, playing as well as they have to get into this point, it's going to be really interesting to kind of see these two teams go head to head because they're
Yeah,
on such good form. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be maybe we give each other a call when the game goes. That'll be quite exciting.
exactly.
Yeah.
We're gonna be friends up until the game, hang up the phone, and then friends after the game.
We'll see. Well, it depends how it goes, huh?
Yeah. No, I think, but I just think in general, like people can become so proud. Like Ireland is obviously such a small nation. Like it's basically a tiny little island in Europe. Um, I don't know my geography well. I don't know how many countries are in the continent of Africa, but like
Yeah.
another country in a massive continent, and
No,
I
exactly.
think
Yeah.
sometimes like it's been 20 something years. I think 2002 was when Ireland last qualified for a World Cup. I don't know when South Africa last qualified or if it was
The
2010.
the last
But
time we qualified was because we hosted it.
yeah,
It just shows you. But yeah,
yeah,
no,
no,
it's a long time for both clubs. I think, yeah, I mean, both are really doing well
yeah,
and are expected to play well and perform well in the World Cup. So,
yeah,
it's kind of everything is on the line to go out, win, put your heart in the field, and just do everything you can to get the result. And that's
yeah,
going to be interesting to see for sure.
absolutely. And then going back to obviously you were speaking about your sort of your life journey in football. I mean, not that we ever know what the future holds, but what sort of you obviously right now you're in South Africa. You want to eventually get to Spain or Portugal. What sort of challenges and maybe obstacles do you think you might come across? And maybe even say if it's the next like
Mm.
another 5 year plan. What do
Yeah.
you think are going to be things you might have to be like? Well, this is probably what I'm going to have to overcome to get to
Yeah.
where I really want to go off and get there.
I think the biggest obstacle that I'm currently having to deal with is getting my licensing. I actually just got put into a goal. So just for some context, so far in charge of obviously getting UEFA have the UEFA licensing and then Africa have CAF licensing.
Yeah,
And the way that SAFA have been dealing with coaches trying to get their CAF licensing hasn't been the best in the past, let's say, decade. So a lot of coaches that have been coaching and have been getting experience over the last 10 years haven't necessarily had the chance to go and get their qualifications because if you don't know this person or you don't know this person, the doors are kind of closed. So that's why networking in South Africa and as a South African is super important. But yeah, we got put into a group last night, a goalkeeping coaches group, to do our UEFA C licensing and then obviously go to the UEFA B licensing. So that's the issue. That's the biggest obstacle I'm dealing with at the moment. I'm lucky enough to, be in an environment where I'm getting enough funds to be able to do so. But again, it's just getting to this point that becomes difficult, and it's just kind of cracking on to try and get over the next obstacle. But I think the biggest obstacle in the grand scheme of things will be uh, dealing with like political issues. So, not political, like politics in
yeah,
football.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, like that every club has it, and I think that's the biggest issue with every footballing club, with every footballing association. There's always kind of your politics. It's so and so's friend and so and so's friend that is involved because just because of the relationship that they have. That's a massive issue that I probably am going to be dealing with. But that's why, again, it's just super important to keep good relationships with as many people as you possibly can and putting yourself out there as much as you can. So people, when they see your face, they trust you and they can kind of bring you into their space and you benefiting from it, they're benefiting from it. But yeah, those are the kind of the two biggest issues that I'll probably see myself facing in the next 5 to 10 years.
and obviously, like so, the two of us are obviously trying to create our own legacy. Why? Because it's so easy nowadays to just write obstacle stop or obstacle quit.
Mm.
Why? Why are you still going? I mean, I suppose I mean I can even ask myself the same question, but I mean,
Yeah.
I just absolutely love what I do, and I don't care if there's
Yes.
obstacles for the rest of the week.
Yes.
I genuinely love what I do, and are you the same?
Yeah, well, 100%. And you have to, as a coach, you have to be extremely passionate about it because you can set up the perfect session or you can have the perfect plan for the whole week. It's not going to go that way. You're going to have to deal with five different obstacles, maybe in one session, and then the next session you'll have two, three, four, five. You constantly having to adapt and readjust your sessions or your kind of plan that you have. So I think as coaches, we get so used to it. It's okay. I know how this week's. I got an idea of how the week's going to go, but let's just kind of play it by ear and see what happens.
Yeah.
But what drives me to kind of get over these obstacles is just the passion that I have for it. I mean, just like you, Finn, is waking up every day knowing that you're going to be in an environment that you're going to help. You're going to help someone's life in a positive aspect. You're helping yourself as well as knowledge and contact time with the people that you work with. And it's just that passion, that drive that keeps us going from one obstacle to the next. And again, just wakes us up every single day, kind of cracking on and getting on with it.
Yeah.
Because we spoke about it earlier. It's taking a step to go into what you're passionate about takes a lot. It takes so much character to be able to do that and to put yourself out there, especially on social media where people are, want to comment this, that, and the other. If you are that type of person to take yourself out of a situation and put yourself in an environment that you're going to enjoy, the comments and whatever everyone else has to say, you take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
It's just okay, whatever.
Absolutely. And just even what you were saying there, how important do you think? Because I think environment is massively important. And
Mm,
obviously, I've been in some bad environments in terms of maybe spending time with the wrong people, wrong relationships,
mm,
all that kind of stuff. But I mean, how important is it for you, like when you're waking up every single day, that your support network is so strong that
mm.
your only option nearly is to grow because everybody's
Yes,
like,
yes.
Mike, great, like one great session today. Go off and do the same thing tomorrow, or well done
Mm.
today.
No, exactly. I think how I like to think of it is like a bunch of nets that are connected.
Yeah,
And if one net's up, if you've got a good support system and you're down, that's going to pull you up with it. And I think uh, Pitbull said it. Show me
yeah,
your friends, I'll show you your future.
yeah,
And I mean, it's as true as it is because you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. And having a really good support structure, I think, especially like as men, having really good partners is also super important. I think we don't oftentimes give ourselves enough or give that enough thought. Like, is this person going to support myself and my goals? Obviously, you're going to want to support them as well, but are they going to support who like I want to be and what I want to build like as a family? And I think it's just going back to like having family values. I think it's extremely, extremely important to have those when it comes to selecting the right partner or when it comes to your romantic relationship or your platonic relationships with colleagues and everything. It's really, really important. And I think here at Hout Bay, it's really a breeding ground for success because everyone wants everyone to succeed. Because at the end of the day, if I help you and we are part of the same team, we're winning it on the weekend.
yeah, yeah,
We made. So how good am I if I can't help the person next to me? Kind of get on the higher level than what I am. And I think
yeah.
we take that approach with coaching as well.
No, absolutely. And I mean, what would you say, right? Someone comes up to you, right? Obviously, you have an Instagram page, and you're working full time with football, and you obviously you do some extra one-on-one coaching sessions. But someone sees you, and they ask you, well, like, how did you get there? Like, would I mean, it probably is a mixture of a couple, but I'm trying to say, like, is there one thing, like, is passion number one how you got there? Is environment number one how you got there? Um, is maybe like you were just like when you were. I mean, I spoke about this earlier on. I was 16 years of age, and I said I'm never ever going to work in an office for the rest of my life. and like
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
decided your life. But I don't know. It's a really really hard question to narrow down to one
Mm,
thing because I think it's a
mm.
mixture. But what
No,
is maybe
definitely.
the biggest factor for you getting to where you got to?
I think it's realizing very early on, when I was at school, that I didn't want to do anything in the office. I knew that my passion was football, and I knew that that's all I wanted to do. I knew from a very very early on age, and I had, again. I think it also goes back to how we got into football. Because I think how we got into football is why we're kind of still carrying on. And I had this coach Dylan, who I had at an extremely young age, or extremely young, say 11 years old. And the way he coached and the way he approached you was I'm approaching a human first and football a second. So you'd always kind of check up on how you're doing, how was school, and kind of he'll give these really small questions that at the time didn't seem like much, but it's just like planting that seed of I'm your coach second, and I'm a mentor first, basically. And that, seeing how he influenced me, almost had like a domino effect where if I could have that influence on someone else, like it fulfilled me. It's one of the most fulfilling feelings that we could ever have as humans, I think,
Yeah.
is how did I affect this person's life in a positive manner? And 9 times out of 10, hopefully it's good and it's fulfilling. And that's what got me into kind of going onto it full time.
Nice. And imagine, right? Because I know for me, it's hard to imagine because you might not think about it, but me growing up as a kid, especially when I was in, I mean, what I call primary school, like where you started like 5, 6 years of age, but I was so shy, and I can only imagine if I walked into my primary school now, and
Oh,
and whatever, and I was there. I mean, I think the person that I was back then
oh,
just wouldn't believe it. But
no,
if you
100%,
were to walk
100%.
in to it is primary school in South Africa,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Primary
yeah.
school, high school, then yeah,
Yeah.
university, yeah.
So if you were to walk in and you see right you see a young Michael down the back of the class, what are you saying to him?
Oh, to be very honest, I think I'm actually very similar to you in terms of like being extremely introverted when you're younger. And so going back to that previous question, I think with having that coaching and being in that environment with Coach Dylan, it helped me it helped me grow as a footballer, but also like off the field as a human.
Yeah.
And going from an introvert to an extrovert. And now I can chat to Flippin, I can chat to the wall if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But that type of change, that type of change would, it's so, it's almost like to aspire to be inspiring, like to have that influence on someone is so big. And I don't think us as coaches realize that until we kind of see it, come to fruition. Um, but yeah, if I went back in time and I spoke to my younger self in grade one in primary school, I would just say trust the process, enjoy football, enjoy life, and things will work out. I think, yeah, because to be very honest, I don't regret anything up until this point,
Yeah.
because regretting something means you wish it didn't happen, and if it didn't happen, you wouldn't have got to this point. So, yeah, just trust the process, keep your head down, and keep working.
That is absolutely massive, and I literally I live by that as well about not regretting. I mean, everybody can wake up. I'm gonna make mistakes in coaching and in life, the exact same as
Mm,
you, but
100%.
it's all about how you take it on board. So just say for example, if we have a session in the morning and I made a mistake or I put the wrong players in the wrong position or whatever it is, in the session in the evening, can I make sure that I fix that? But I genuinely
Yeah,
think if you go out there and number one, you're true to yourself and you
yeah,
try, and if you make mistakes along the way, fair enough. But I mean,
yeah. But
no
no one's
way.
perfect. You bound to make mistakes. I always think of it like this. I always think of it like this. So imagine you're going up the steps, you're going upstairs, right? Every time you fall and you fail, you tend to only end up falling forward.
Yeah.
So trying is falling forward. Failing is falling forward. It's just okay. I pick myself back up. Next step. Next step. If I fall forward. You
Yeah.
fall trying and you try again. And I think many people get so like anxious. I don't deal with anxiety at all, and I think it's because of my approach. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to try my hardest. I'm going to make mistakes on the way, and if I do, then I learn from them. So, even when you're making mistakes, you're still progressing. This is part of the process. And I think if more people could take that approach, I think we'd have less people dealing with like anxiety and like mental issues as well.
And has that always been something that you've had? I mean, I definitely think it was probably a change from that whole introvert extrovert, where I maybe sort of started believing in myself more, and I was less obviously anxious in whatever I was playing football, or less anxious in school
Mm.
or whatever it was. But was there sort of a similar to yourself where there was like a change where you kind of went from shy person who cared about what everybody else in the class thought to,
Mm.
okay, if I make a mistake on my homework, it actually meant that I tried and I'm learning. And just because
Mm.
someone else got it right doesn't mean that I'm wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I think it was a progress. It was quite a drawn out process where I went from being really introverted in primary school to extroverted kind of towards the end of high school. And I think within that change, going from introverted to extroverted, I kind of realized why I was so anxious and why I'm kind of overthinking what I said 2 minutes ago, or maybe if I've done something wrong in a test or in school. But you're going to make mistakes as long as you're trying hard. As long as you're trying your best and you're intentional about what you do and you've got a purpose behind that intent. I think that's the most important thing, because no one makes mistakes on purpose.
Yeah.
And it's just over time it kind of we got better and I got more confident and I was more open to making mistakes and that sort of thing.
Amazing. Honestly, it's been so powerful. Even the conversation we had earlier on has been so powerful, and this has been unbelievable. But the last question in this is a really good friend of mine, and I actually think it is a brilliant question, because sometimes you speak about breaking it down into steps. It's like break your year down into weeks. So
Mm.
Jack Sweeney Leahy's question is, what can you work on this week to like go on to that next step or to progress your career? Now, it might be the smallest thing, and sometimes the smallest step is progress, but is there something,
Yeah.
or maybe there's a couple of things that you can work on
Yeah.
between now and next Wednesday that are gonna have an impact on your career long term?
I think it's to be very honest, it's time management. Um, Especially with me settling in, obviously moving to Hout Bay about 3-4 weeks ago, settling in and managing my time so that I can do whether it be tactical analysis or goalkeeper training planning, at a certain time, and then I have time for other things. Um, but also, most importantly, is I'm not sure if you're religious at all, but is making time for reading the Word of
Yeah,
God.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think our pastor always says we always get so distracted by earthly things, and we forget to kind of fill ourselves spiritually with the Word. So, and that's something extremely powerful. And I'm looking at my Bible now, and you actually reminded me I need to read it tonight. I've been trying my most to kind of manage my time and just kind of take things as they come. And in that process, I've forgotten the most important thing, and that's again getting in, reading the Word and understanding the Word and kind of fulfilling myself spiritually, because I think that takes you I think it can take you anywhere really. Again, if you're intentional about it and you've got a purpose and you do things the right way, I think if I can make more time for reading my Bible, that would be it would take me to the end. To be very honest,
Oh no,
I think that's
I can only agree with that 110%. I mean, I've come from a place where I was wasn't really as much into religion and faith, and the last maybe say 6 to 8 weeks, um, I've been literally I wake up every single morning, pray in the morning, and like okay, I'm obviously very very lucky, like yourself, that I'm doing what I love every single day, but it's just like I feel like my life has
All the
just
time, yeah.
gotten to another level
Oh,
because it's like I'm being guided. It's like without me
yes,
even
yes.
knowing, I'm just being guided to where I
Like
need to go
being so
to.
busy, yeah, like being so busy and trying to just get everything done. It's like you don't even think of the next step; you just go on to the next. But it's filling yourself with that with the spiritual word, and it's looking back on it. I actually like, how did I get all of this done in this way? And kind of get to this point where I've done everything and the quality is being good.
Yeah,
No, I'm
no,
exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Mike, mate, honestly, it's been an absolute privilege. All,
Thank you,
all this
Finn.
time today, I really, really genuine. I appreciate everybody who gives me up, even like half an hour, 40 minutes at a time. And we already had a call before this as well, which makes it even better. So I genuinely hope and wish you all the best for the rest of the season. And
Thank you, Finn.
yeah,
I
brother,
look
we're gonna
for these conversations, please. I would
yeah,
love to make this like a weekly thing if you have time. Again, I need to manage my time. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed the conversation we had. I mean, even earlier before this call, just meeting you, it was, you don't often get people like yourself and that are willing to put themselves, that are willing to connect with people, regardless of where they're from, and just have conversations about personal life, food, and everything in between. So thank you for this opportunity for having me on your platform. And yeah, I really, I'm cheering on from the sidelines, from social media, and anything that you do. And yeah, dude, yeah, just thanks for this privilege for having me on your platform. I really appreciate
no, I appreciate it, and I hope everybody who listened today enjoyed it. So
it. Let's
there's
hope
another
so. Let's hope
episode
so.
done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.